We are back on the record. I believe Councilor Scaries, you had, well, I think first off, there was a motion made for the entire agenda. As written, so I think that will need to be amended. And the amendment would be to item A for the regular council meeting, the removal or the edit that Joe McConville is not appointed to the planning commission. Whoever made the motion, if you would make that amendment, and whoever made the second.
Yes.
No, that was it.
Thank you. Roll call.
Susan Skerrys,
Yes.
Joseph Jones, Michael Libby,
Yes.
Lauren Campbell,
Yes.
and Teresa Harm.
Yes.
6A, new business, consideration of number 2023-16, a resolution authorizing the city to submit to the Department of Transportation a Rebuilding American Infrastructure, Sustainability and Equity RAISE grant application. Second. Rochelle or Justin, is there anything further on that?
This is just more formality thing, and you can bid to 20% match that's required by the RAISE grant. Tuesday already, last Tuesday is due by midnight, so that's been all submitted, so it's just that formality of getting this in.
And this is the one that we needed to do letters of support for.
Yes.
And we were able to get and secure what we needed for that.
And then we'll probably, what we'll do is make a one-page pamphlet for y'all to take out. when members going to DC to at least have it with you, so we know a little bit about it. So we'll put those together in the coming month. And put those to Rochelle, so it'll be printed out.
Should we be trying to meet with somebody while we're there to promote that?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Will you be giving us names of somebody that we should be, or do we do the research on our own,
I
or
can see if I can pull some names out.
Teresa, can you?
I can help.
And can you, since you won't be there, can you?
You need training?
Yeah, can you hold my hand,
I can help you. I can make you. Yeah, we'll do it.
bullet points? Thank
And
you.
even if there's a follow-up trip to after that, if somebody goes out, it's well worth the come up again, I guess. So more times you can do it, the better.
Do we have a decision making that? Time frame?
Oh, what was that? I can't remember off the top of my head. I go back.
All right. We'll circle on that. I'll make sure that.
Okay. Mayor, are you going?
I'm going. Further questions or discussion?
It is normal not to get the grant the first time, and we probably will have to reapply. So just so everyone's aware. If we do get it, wow, amazing.
That's because we know how to talk to people.
What do you guys call it? A golden unicorn? Isn't that what they call it? If it actually does happen.
Somebody actually did it. I don't remember where it was at now.
And we'll be the second.
Okay. No further questions. Roll call.
Susan Skerrys,
Yes.
Joseph Jones,
Yes.
Michael Libby,
Yes.
Lauren Campbell,
Yes.
and Teresa Harm.
Yes.
The FY 2023-24 budget discussion. Michelle?
So Senate File 181 did pass, and what that meant was that the residential rollback was altered to remove properties previously known as multi-residential from the calculations for assessment year 2022, which is fiscal year 24. So this reduced the rollback by 1.84%, which then changed our valuations. And there is a little chart there on your on staff report that shows what they were before SF 181 and then after SF 181. And what that did, that rollback changed our valuations. So then it meant a revenue loss of $103,502 if we leave our levy exactly the same. So even if we change our levy, we don't have any, we have one option to change our levy, but changing the levy by 15 cents is all we could change it by. We could increase it by 15 cents. It would give us another $36,000 a year. That's all it would do. So my recommendation is just leave it alone. We'll make cuts to make up for the 103, so that you don't have to mess with.
It's a little higher number than what we thought originally, isn't
Yes, originally, they were selling us about 70, maybe 70 or $80,000 is what we thought. But it was a little bit higher than that.
So since this is all confusing to me on what all happened, why we're to the
Sure.
position that we're in, why we had to do what we did for something that happened. Yeah, like it's, I mean, I tried to read through it, but there's a lot of mumbo jumbo that I stopped. So is this something that we are going to have to deal with like from now on? Or is that just this year itself that we have to deal with it? And then the next fiscal year, we're back to, we don't have to worry about trying to find this money.
That is true. So the reason that this happened was because they pulled the, they didn't pull the multi-residential when they should have. So they should have actually done all this and did the calculations correctly in October, but they didn't do it. So then someone found the mistake but didn't notify someone, and I'm not sure, maybe Teresa has a little bit more information, but they didn't. They knew about it, but didn't pull it, and caused our valuations to be incorrect. When they figured it out, they had already given us numbers. And so that was the issue. It really should have never happened. You guys would have never seen it if they would have done it correctly. And we just would have had a loss, but I would have made up for that when I was doing the budget. I would say, oh, we got a loss, we got to do something different. But we didn't see that. But this everyone would have had a loss with their calculations no matter what, because of the way that this is calculated now. So,
And that's how it's going to be calculated from here on out, correct?
yes, that is true.
Thank
it?
you.
And to our advantage, if I understand it, we don't have that many multi-family residences
That is a true
as
statement.
other communities might have.
Yes,
We're sitting in a better position than
Yes.
some of those.
yes. There's some of
Some
them
of the
that are,
people that
I
I've
feel,
talked to.
I just feel for them. I really, really do. It's a lot of money that they're having to redo, and literally like not filling positions or cutting back staff, or millions of dollars. So what we're going to do is all the department heads have been asked to find ways that we can cut that $100,000. And Public Works, actually, everything that Public Works does on a day-to-day basis is road use tax, so they are not affected, but the community center, the parks, and then police, fire, and general. And all this is general fund money, so that's why that this is happening. But we're gonna make those cuts, and then we'll be fine. It's really not it's nothing huge to us. So if this kept happening, if this keeps happening, and we didn't make any cuts, we have probably 8 to 10 years of reserves that we could fall back on. I'd never like to do that. Yeah, I'm very conservative. You guys know that, funny. So that's why we're making cuts. Otherwise, it might be just being, leave it alone, no worries. We'll just use reserves, but I'd prefer to make cuts. So that's what we're gonna do.
So
We're
I
gonna
think,
find it.
Rochelle, what would be helpful for me is at the end, if you can let us know what are those cuts specifically for this $100,000.
Absolutely.
Just so obviously we can have an understanding of how that's gonna potentially impact city services or whatever. Because at the end of the day, we always have local option sales tax. We have other resources to be able to say, we need, that is important, and we can, so I do want to see those cuts.
100%.
But I just want to know so we can then make a decision on whether or not, how we reorganize this budget for today. But I mean, it's just one of those things that happens, and it's a good thing. It's just a one time. And so that's the other good thing, is that you have other resources that you can use for one time if you need to.
Right, yes, absolutely. So I'm just thankful we're in the position we're in and not millions of dollars, which would cause a lot of heartache.
It was interesting because they did ask for that to be over a multi-year. I mean, the cities advocated for it to be over a multi-year budget, multiple budget cycles, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah, but it was not granted. Got 30 days.
They did extend to April 30th, so we do have a new budget calendar. So that's why we're doing tonight, the max levy notice. And then we'll do a max levy property, or max levy, maximum property tax public hearing will be next council meeting. And then we'll approve the resolution, and then we'll set a budget for the public hearing for the, for 4-3. And then we'll adopt it on 4-3. So, but I'll actually redo basically what you've been, what's been put in your budget binder. I'm gonna redo it. So we'll just redo. So you have new, so you understand. So everybody's got final in their packet. And I'll get that out to you. It'll be the Friday, whatever that Friday is. We'll get packet out before, so the 18th. I'll get that to you. So the maximum levy looks really interesting because the actual annual change, it looks like negative 5.95%. And that's just because our FICA and IPERS and other employee benefits, those two levies went down because our insurance is so much less. So we don't need as much from those levies. So that's why that looks like that. Any other questions? I know it's kind of confusing. It's kind of confusing for everyone. But it is part of the process. We just work through it.
Very comments. Further discussion on 15.
Thank you for taking care of all of this and walking us through this. I'm sure this was not a good news for you to hear either.
Well, it kind of was a bad year, let's be honest, for this to happen, but
Yes.
it's all working out.
6C, consideration of resolution number 2023-17, a resolution setting the date for public hearing to consider the FY24 maximum property tax dollars.
Second.
And so, clarification, this is always sort of a misleading thing, right?
is.
Because this is the levy without the debt service, correct?
This not shown are the voted other permissible levies and the debt service levy. So the community center is not shown on here either. So they don't show all the levies on here. So it does make people confused.
And it's a state form, right?
Yes, it is a state form.
All right, any discussion or questions on that?
I don't know if this is the time to ask that question, but have you heard what, like the Des Moines Public Schools and West Des Moines schools, like what they're going to do about and what that's going to do to our property taxes in both areas? I was asked that and I said I hadn't heard anything, so I'm guessing we haven't heard anything.
They're still struggling to try to get this, to wrap their heads around the whole
Probably not
thing.
going to be good.
Yeah, I spoke to a member of the West Des Moines school board. They are struggling.
Because Des Moines, didn't they have to like find $10 million to lose,
Large number.
basically? All right.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Susan Skiris,
Yes.
Joseph Jones,
Yes.
Michael Libby,
Yes.
Lauren Campbell,
Yes.
and Teresa Harms.
Yes.
7A, reports. There is an opening on planning and zoning. Some of you have sent me some names. I will follow up with you about that, and Adam emailed me. There's an application online now. And I think that Teresa, you have suggested something be placed in the newsletter as well. Communications meeting was this morning. I planned on attending and actually even made it into City Hall before getting called into work, so I did not attend. Mayor's meeting is this Wednesday. We'll be at the Metro Waste Authority facility in Grimes. Public Works on Friday, probably, to discuss the dump trucks. Yes. MAC next week, I believe it's legislators will be there, special events 17th. Police chief interviews March 31st, fire chief 21st of April. Now that we're kind of winding down on budget and the search, well, some of us are winding down on budget, sorry, Michelle. The search processes for police and fire. Some other things to move on to. I'm speaking to Ms. King about the trip to Japan. Expect to have something on the agenda next meeting. I'll also talk about potentially editing the chicken ordinance that's related to the language prohibiting certain birds, nothing to do with the number. The zoning code rewrite, I know went before P and Z either last week or 2 weeks ago. And the Beggar Night discussion, I forgot about that. That's on the to-do list. If there's anything outstanding, please let me know. There's quite a lot of emails. That being some outstanding plans, communications plan, public property maintenance plan, public works equipment maintenance plan. All on the to-do list. So that's my report. Sorry.
Thank you. We had communications committee this morning. They got an update on the website. Their Civics Plus is in design mode right now, Adam shared, and by next Monday, we are supposed to have a revised model of what that'll look like. So a link will be provided, and if you all can then provide feedback to what that kind of hidden site looks like, to respond by the 20th. That would be great. If you need more time, please let us know, but ideally it'll be in its near finished form. So take a look and give us feedback, and communications committee will be looking at that too, but we'll get that to you next Monday. We had a great conversation about not only the newsletter and some ideas, continued ideas for that, but then also good conversation about the business newsletter. So we had 1 or 2 of those go out. I think the last one was in December. Ideally, we'd like to do one every other month. And so that's something we chatted about today. And so we'll be leaning in on the Economic Development Committee to provide some information for that. And then also asking the partner, or excuse me, the chamber for information that they might be able to share. But there was a request, I think, by the chamber to be able to do profile on some of the business owners here in our community. And so we're going to solicit and ask all Windsor Heights businesses, if they want to, then they can go in and submit a profile, and then through like Google form, and it would be open to all Windsor Heights businesses, regardless of whether or not you're a chamber member, to create some sort of profile that can be shared amongst the business community and what have you. So but anyway, so we also thought maybe special events could identify some sort of write-up for that as well, to invite the business community to participate, however you want to communicate that through the newsletter. And we're hoping that that'll go out in mid-April. So we've got some time, but we want to have it be not at the same time as our resident newsletter as well. So that, so have been lots going on with that. Secured a couple of letters for that raise grant. Happy to help with the identifying. I have all the contact for our members, so we can figure out what you guys need to do for that and back next week. So
Now, in communication, have you guys taken over I don't want to say the new home people that move into the city, the new Windsor Heights residents? The welcome packet. Have you guys, is that something that is anybody taking that over?
Last time we discussed it, it was sort of a volunteer at will type thing.
yeah, but I don't know who's responsible for pulling that information.
Or even writing up what we have, because I think it's probably outdated by now, I'm assuming.
Maybe. Let's circle back on that, Adam.
Okay.
Great question, Susan.
Anything else, Chris?
No, thank you.
Ms. Campbell?
Susan and I are working on special events sponsorship communications, sharing photos and information from last year's events in hopes to get the same generosity or more from business partners that helped us make all of those events possible. Met with the hiring committee for the police and fire chief applicant review week and a half ago. As Mayor Jones said, we've got interviews scheduled coming up for those. And Bravo meets Wednesday.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too was supposed to be at the communications committee meeting this morning, but my publisher must have gotten really busy over the weekend because she sent me a list that she needed answers to for a magazine by 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'm able to be there. Apologize. Public Works Committee, I don't think we'll do attend there as well. I'm with Dr. Coleman at Broadlawns on that day. And a point of personal privilege, I'd like to just bring to mind this evening, it's already started, Happy Purim. You are so moved, you can look that up in the Book of Esther. Jones?
We have DART tomorrow. We'll approve the position description for the DART CEO. We'll set a public hearing for our budget for our next meeting for April, and then we'll approve the executive search timeline for the CEO. So shouldn't be too eventful, but there's a lot of important things that will happen.
Scary?
So it's been a busy 2 weeks. There's been just kind of a lot going on. Been busy planning the Earth Day event with Liz Silva. We're happy to say that we will have lots of fun events happening on Earth Day, including having a raptor come and be there present, and so that you can ask questions, you can see how the bird moves, and it's kind of an interesting thing. I secured Funflix to show our movies, received the quotes for the movies and sent that invoice to Rochelle today. Secured Hy-Vee to provide the pizza, and Lauren and I are working to get the sponsor letters out. On the 21st, I attended a women in government meeting at the Des Moines Airport. There were about 15 of us in attendance. We received a lot of great information about the airport project and how it's continuing, even if it is over budget, because of course everything has just risen in costs. We'll be having these meetings quarterly, and I believe the next meeting will be in Bondurant, as Marquita Oliver has offered to plan this event. Little FYI, if you're planning to fly out anywhere for spring break, I encourage you, after sitting and listening to the airport executive talk, you should probably be there at least 90 minutes, if not completely 2 hours early, because they are now shifting all the mid-morning flights into the morning flights. So you went from like 4 flights to about 8 flights, all going off in about a matter of 20 minutes. So the lines have been from TSA starting point all the way down to the baggage check-in. So yeah, that was a Friday. It was unbelievable. I walked in and I'm like, what is going on here? So might just want to give yourself a little bit of extra time.
Excuse me, when is spring break? See now, my kids are.
It starts Monday, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, it starts this Friday.
Oh, it starts this Friday. So, yeah. Let's see. We had a nice strategic visioning meeting on the 23rd that Council, Mayor, Scott, and Cassandra all attended it. Lots of information to work through and digest. Then I was able to attend the morning mash at that Urbandale Chamber puts on monthly on, I'm assuming it's Wednesdays. This was held at Upper Iowa University. I learned there that one of the members will become a part of our Windsor Heights community soon, as they're opening up a storefront for their business at Sherwood Forest. So there were only 2 of us from Windsor Heights that attended, but I would say there were probably about 60 people at this event. So it was nice to meet more people from the community, and they were asking a lot of questions about Windsor Heights and kind of what's new in Windsor Heights, and a lot of them appreciated the Aldi coming in. Then I attended Metro Waste meeting right after that, and we talked about the landfill in Perry. Then on Thursday, I attended an event that the Urbandale Chamber puts on monthly. Then I'm attending another Urbandale Chamber event tomorrow morning. And then they will have their member meetup at HWCBD on Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I encourage everyone that can attend the nice, I don't really know what this event is because I've never been to one with Urbandale, but I guess it brings out a lot of people. So
What's the name?
member meetup.
It's a networking
Yep.
function.
They're even having a DJ at HWCBD. So Thursday.
Yes.
And then on Friday, Public Works meeting, next week, Metro Waste meeting, and Friday, we have our special events meeting. Just to make sure, I know that this is kind of a little late notice, kind of from what we usually do, but the annual Easter egg hunt that the Firefighters Association puts on is on April 8th, and I think it starts at 9 AM. So I want to put that down on your calendars for kiddos to attend, and so we can promote that out. That's it.
Michelle?
I really don't have anything. I put everything in the Friday email. I'll be gone starting tomorrow. I'll be back on the 14th.
Item 8, closed session. City Council will convene into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.5I to evaluate the professional competency of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury, that individual's reputation, and that individual requests a closed session.
Second, sorry.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Susan Skiris.
Yes.
Joseph Jones, Michael Libby,
Yes.
Lauren Campbell,
Yes.
and Teresa Harms. These two are okay. I just don't admit anybody else.
Okay.